Welcome, everyone. I'm your host today, Meena Samara, and I, for a change, will be interviewing the most incredible Rachel Wayte. And we're going to get to hear Rachel's story for a change. Up to now, Rachel's been interviewing some incredible women, and the stories that have been coming out have been absolutely amazing. You must catch up and listen to some of these. But today, we're going to find out more about Rachel and what Rachel's story is. Welcome, Rachel.
This is so amazing. It feels so strange. Thank you. It feels so strange to have someone else introduce us, but I'm so honored and I'm so grateful that you nudged me to do this, and I'm really excited to be able to share, yeah, like you said, my story and a bit more about my journey to where I am, and hopefully that will inspire others on their journey as well as they're listening to this.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that there's some lots of new faces and lots of new people will get to meet Rachel because I'm going to be posting all about this interview. And so Rachel is an energy healer, but what's really special about Rachel is she uses sound healing. Now, not sound as in the bowl sound, vocal sound healing, because Rachel is an extremely beautiful singer. She's got a very powerful voice. And stay tuned because you're going to get to experience some of Rachel's healing later on in this interview. So, what I'd like to start with is to go right to the beginning
Okay.
and learn a bit more about your journey to becoming a healer. What can you tell us about how you got started?
Wow. Okay. I feel nervous about sharing this journey. How interesting. It's like, oh, I'm exposing myself for the not for the first time, but in a way I am. It's really interesting. So some people who are healers, when I speak to them, they tell me, oh, I've always known it was a gift. I was born with it. I was brought up with it. It was in my family, and it's just something that I've always known. But for me, it was probably the complete opposite. So I didn't know any of what I know now. So I actually grew up in a absolutely loving family, but it was, but my father's a judge, my mom's a nurse, and it was very sort of loving and grounding, but there was no spirituality, there was no healing, there was nothing really ever spoken about it. So for me, it was this journey of.
Oh, the sound's gone.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's me now.
Right. You can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Hey, these things happen. I've had to turn my microphone off. So, so it was a complete journey of discovery, and it wasn't probably until I got to my 30s, really deeply, much deeper into my very early 40s, that I realized I had all these gifts and that I had all this intuition. I had all these healing abilities that I was definitely born with. I just probably at a very young age shut them down quite early on. Maybe I didn't want to know about them. Maybe they weren't accepted. So I didn't really, I think I knew part of me, all I knew was that part of me knew that somehow I was different. But apart from that, I couldn't really tell you anymore until I hit my 30s, and really much deeper until I turned 40, when everything sort of exploded. So that is so yeah, I can't really say that I had all this intuition, I had those insights as a child, or that I was seeing angels. I think I needed to learn this bit by bit by bit by bit in order for it to feel safe for me to go, okay, I'm ready. I don't think I was ready for it then, and I don't think the world that I lived in was ready to hear me talk about it. So I've grown with it. I'd say that's how it's come about.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe the world didn't need it as much then as it needs it now,
Yeah,
and
that's
maybe there was preparation that you were going through. So that's really interesting.
yeah.
Tell us a bit more about, or tell us about your own healing journey. If you could give, you feel comfortable to give some insights into some areas and how healing's benefited you?
Definitely. Okay. So I I think the first time I recognized I needed healing and I needed to work on myself was probably in my early 30s, and that's when I actually was open. So I trained, like I said, I trained as well. You didn't hear this. I trained as an opera singer up through my early 20s, up all the way to the end, probably to late 30s. When I recognized that that world was not really a world that was good for me. It dimmed my light. It made me feel small. I lost all joy and passion that I had for my singing, and I shut my voice down. And I know we've spoken deeply about this. I decided that I was never going to sing again, and I was never going to use my voice because it was too painful to me, because I'd failed, I'd been rejected, and I just felt like that had to stop, and I had to shut it down in order to protect myself. And you and I have done some amazing work to help me really empower that and to bring that back. So when I left that world, I then went into the corporate world, which because I didn't know what else to do. I thought, well, I'm going to have to get a real job. What else am I going to do? I'll go and get a job. And that world was, then I was introduced to like the world of male dominance. And I was a bilingual PA in this job, and there was a lot of stress, there was a lot of anxiety, and there was a lot and I didn't know this at the time. I was probably an empath, so I absorbed everything. I absorbed the stress, I absorbed all, and I felt like as the PA, I had to please everybody and do everything. And after 2 years of that, of being there, I was having panic attacks in my car driving to work. Scary. Though I would walk down the street and I would be so anxious. I actually think I was going to pass out. I thought I was going to collapse on the floor. So there were times where I was just scared to go out of the house. That's how bad it had got. Um, so I just had to, and I remember my amazing, he wasn't my husband at the time, he is now. I remember there was one day I was about to get in the car and go to work, and he just said, "You're not," he said, as I was so stressed and anxious about going there, he said, "Sit down, that you're not going to work. You you're just not going." And he really, and then I think there was such a relief that came out of me when I just was like, okay, I don't have to go there. And I had 2-3 weeks off work, and then I handed in my resignation when I got there, when I was supposed to go back, and that helped. But that was my journey of deciding that I needed to look at, my journey of healing, and look at things inside of me. And I remember I had EFT. I had craniosacral treatments, which were just amazing. Obviously had some energy healing, and I then decided to learn myself to become a massage therapist. And I think that was also my journey of healing as well, learning about energy and taking care of myself, and making sure that I was, taking care of myself and my energy, I think. So it took me a long time to overcome that anxiety. It's taken me probably about 10 years to fully overcome that. And even now I will drive on the motorway, but it's taken me probably over 10 years to get to, and still now I don't enjoy it. It's okay, I will do it, but
Mm.
the panic, the experiencing a panic attack on the motorway was uh, like, I thought I was going to have a heart attack on the motorway. That's how scary it was.
You just freeze.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
You
And
literally
I
can't
actually
function.
don't know how I made it home that day. I did make it home, and I was probably guided home, but I'm not entirely sure how I made it home.
Well, we know more about that now.
Exactly. And then obviously, and then when I was coming up to my 40s, I also hit a moment of darkness. I hit a moment, and this is where the deep healing really came in, because I wasn't doing what I was doing now. I was running my own massage therapy business, but I knew I was meant for more, and I knew that I had a deeper purpose, but I didn't know what that was, and I felt lost. And I saw, gosh, and I heard myself saying, "Gosh, I'm turning 40." And all my friends, all my family, they're so successful, they've got all this money coming in, they don't have these money worries. I felt like I always had these money worries, and I was just looking at everyone else going, I'm a mess, and I'm not successful. And I spent quite a few months in downward spirals of depression, of crying a lot, of just feeling lost and not knowing what I was meant to do. And that was really when the healing work came in, and I recognized that as it was my husband who said it to me, and some people have heard this before. He said to me once in the kitchen, he said, "But Rachel, do you really want to change? Because, and he said to me, because from where I'm coming from, it doesn't look like you do, because we kept having these conversations, was nothing was happening, and he kept suggesting things, and I go, yes, I'll try that, and then I didn't. And so when he said that to me, I thought, wow, the only
Powerful.
person who, I was waiting to be rescued, I was waiting for someone else to like make me successful, I was waiting for someone else to make me rich. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't thinking that I could do it myself.
Waiting for someone to save you
I
because
was waiting to be saved.
yeah.
And I realized in that moment, the only person who could do that was me. And
Penny.
it was a massive penny drop moment. And that's when I recognized that I had to start taking care of myself. That's when I started meditating. It's when I started exercising more regularly. It's when I started going for deeper healing work. It's when I invested in myself. I invested in a coach. I invested in all kinds of things. And that is the thing that really launched me into what I'm doing now. And I recognized that I had the fear that was inside of me that was holding me back my purpose had to become bigger than my fear. And I sat down and I said to the universe, I said, I'm ready. I said, show me what it is you want me to do, because I am ready. I don't know what it looks like yet, but I'm willing to trust you, and I'm willing to let you guide me to what I need to do. And within about 2 weeks, I just knew that I had to stop massaging and I had to start healing. It was amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And what's really interesting listening to this now is when you look back at those darkest moments, would you say that you're actually grateful that you experienced them and went through them now?
Totally, totally. Because otherwise, I'd still be stuck where I was. I'd still be
Yeah.
sort of in this negative cycle. And it takes courage to look inside, and it takes courage to go, I'm not going to stay where I am. It might be sort of comfortable, but I know that I can't stay here anymore. And it takes courage to sort of, I always sort of means that you take the lid off the can of worms and you have to let everything out. And that takes courage. But if you go on it, it's an amazing journey, and you will find your purpose. And I can't, it's beautiful.
It is, yeah. I think it's just scary because we just don't know what's going to happen when we open that lid. What are we going to learn about ourselves? What are we going to find out? What are we going to have to deal with? And often what we do is we just pack it away and we don't want to think about it.
No.
It's incredible. What would be really interesting is to find out a bit more insight into what are the kind of things that patterns, common things that you come in across with clients, because a lot of us are going through the same kind of things. And what are you coming across?
So I come across, I don't know if it's like this with you, Meena, but I come across a lot. The thing that was coming to me then is a lot of clients who sabotage themselves, and they do this in many different ways. They feel like they make this decision that, yes, right, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone a bit more, and I'm going to make changes in my life, and they get all excited about doing that. And then all of a sudden what happens is something will come in, and they will start sabotaging themselves. Either their body will start playing up, or what else do they start doing? They'll start procrastinating.
Mhm.
They will stop habits will creep in to stop them. So they'll be scared to say something, so they won't say something. Or they'll start drinking, they'll start eating, not like overeating, they'll do all kinds of things. Or they'll fear that the money's not going to be there, so they'll stop moving forwards. They'll do all kinds of things to stop themselves moving forwards. And when we look inside, when we talk about it and we look inside, we discover that that sabotage is there for a reason. They think it's trying to protect them, because the ego is scared of the new. It's scared of it. It sort of says, well, what if I fail? what if I get this wrong? What if someone laughs at me? What if I'm seen and I get rejected? So the ego is trying to protect them all the time. So it brings in all these intriguing patterns. Sometimes it's, you know, they spend hours on social media so that they're not taking those steps forward in their business. Um, and so when we unpack why that sabotage is there, and we recognize that actually it's protected them for a reason. Often something happened to them as a child. Perhaps when they tried to be successful as a child, they were told that they got it wrong, or they failed, or they were told to be quiet. They were told that they weren't important. They were told all these things. And when we unpack that and we help them let that go, and we calm the ego down and we say, look, it's okay. I'm safe now. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to expand out of my comfort zone. I'm ready to let go of these reasons that these things that are trying to keep me small and safe in my box. When we help them heal that, that's when the miracles happen, and that's when life-changing things happen for them. When they let go of the stories and the energy that's been blocking them.
And would you agree the deepest emotion behind the sabotage is just fear?
Always.
It's about clearing up the fear as well, because that's what's creating the story.
Yeah. And you clear that fear, and then you're limitless.
Amazing. And what do you think is the benefit of actually having somebody hold your hand during the energy healing, or have going through the healing process? Because you and me both know that we can do healing on ourselves, but there's a big difference between when we've done work together. And how do you find the benefit of actually working with someone to hold you through your stuff to get yourself deeper?
So Mina's done a lot of healing work for me, and vice versa. And what I recognize is that sometimes we're blinded ourselves. We can't always see the deep stuff. We're not able to go there ourselves. And I think having someone so capable who is open, and who can see that for you, can hold you through that for you, makes such a difference. I think probably I could get there myself, but it would take me a long time. And there might be things that I just don't dare go and see myself. So having someone there who can just hold that space, you know that you're safe, you know that you're being taken care of, and someone who's just guided, someone who's just that vessel that you need at that time, um, is really beneficial. And I just feel that in those moments, I can just, it's like I'm being taken care of.
Yeah.
Me, you know, as healers ourselves, we're always, which is lovely, we're always taking care of everybody else, and we are wanting to serve them. So having someone where I can just go, this is my time, this is my healing, and I trust you, and I trust my body to reveal what it needs to show, um is is um is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And just listening to your story as well, and the fact that you went through, I mean, you got to the point, your anxiety got to the point that you were having full-blown panic attacks, and at a level that was really very dangerous. It's happening in, you know, you're driving and it's happening at a dangerous time. Now, anxiety itself is something I'm sure lots and lots of people can identify with. And then having the ability to work with somebody like you who's been there, that has experienced it, that's gone through those patterns. And also something that I find as well is, because we've been through a lot ourselves. I don't know why, but as healers,
We have
and many
to.
of us, it's like, you know, you have to go through the stuff in order to get the ability to help others. I don't know why we have to go through so much. But it then means that because you've been through things yourself, you can recognize the patterns instantly when you see it in somebody else. And you can really hold them from a place of like real understanding, because you were them, and you know, you understand exactly where they're at, so that the person feels so comfortable, so held, that then they can just drop the guards and just let whatever the energy is, whatever needs to be identified, whatever needs to be seen, can come forward. Because otherwise what I find is people just they have like literally they just clamp down and you can see nothing. I mean, I spoke to somebody yesterday that had come on for an audit and I couldn't see anything. It's because they weren't ready, and she was like, no, I know I've got this, but they weren't ready. But oh, it's so amazing to hear some of your journey, and I know there's loads more we could dig into, but I can't wait any longer. I would love to get to share some of what you do,
Okay.
and yeah, just show you off, because You've been showing off everybody else's story and what they've been doing, and it's time that we showcased you, your incredible, incredible abilities, and just yeah, let's just put it out there.
I might do, seeing as the microphone wasn't working so well, as I'll put my headphones in and then the sound will hopefully come across a little bit better for everybody. I'll just
I've been a little fiddle here. Just
oh, on our side this morning, was it?
no, and I've just realised I didn't have my system on charge as well.
Okay,
So
how is that sound now? Can you hear me okay?
yes,
You can? Okay. All right. So I was just trying to think what we were going to take everybody through, and I'm just going to let it flow. I'm just going to let out what needs to come out. So if you've never experienced sound healing before, or it's certainly voice sound healing, well, the way it worked for me was, and this part of my story was, very quickly after I started really opening up to the energy and using my intuition, my gifts and feeling, and I knew my voice just literally opened up. It unblocked itself and sound started pouring out of my voice. And I understood then why I had to learn to sing. And I'd gone through that whole sort of singing journey. So sounds generally flow out of my mouth quite intuitively. So there's no set pattern. There's no, I make this note here and I make this note here to release pain or anxiety. It's just vibrations that I feel intuitively led to share. And if you imagine that your body is energy, as you know, Meena, your body is energy, you're vibrating, you have a frequency. Every cell in your body has its own vibration and frequency. If there's something that's not quite vibrating as it should, something that's slightly out of alignment, I always describe it like an orchestra. So when an orchestra is playing, everything's playing together well, it sounds beautiful and it sounds in harmony. But if there's an instrument that starts playing out of tune, then it sounds off. It doesn't sound right. And that's the same for your body. If there's one part of your body that's not vibrating as it should, it can actually lead everything to feel this out of balance. And that's when the pain can come in. That's when the anxiety can come in. That's when your body's not feeling as it should. So the sound can really help just to bring resonance back to the body and balance everything. In very simple terms, that's how sound can help. And it can help specific organs, it can help specific cells, and it can really help emotions, blocked emotions, as emotion is energy as well. It can really help you to release emotion that might be stuck within the body. So what we'll do today is try and help everyone just to release whatever they need to. So everyone's going to experience this differently today. So I'm just going to set the intention that actually, if you're watching this live or catching this, you know, on the recording, that your intention is simply to allow your body to let go of what it wants to let go of today. And we're just going to let your body intuitively know what that is. So wherever you are, please not if you're driving. Please come back to this if you're driving. I'd like you just to stop for a moment and recognize that, you know, this is your time to receive this healing. So maybe you want to sit down, maybe you want to lie down and just close down around your eyes and just gift yourself this few moments. You know, you may have been running around, you might have a lot going on, but recognize that you really, this is a gift to you, and we do need to gift ourselves these moments sometimes. And it's okay for you to stop. And I want you to just come to your breath. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And even as you're breathing, your body is beginning to relax. Your shoulders are dropping. Your breath is slowing down. A sense of peace is surrounding you. A sense of stillness. Is coming into your being, into your body. And I'd love for you to set the intention now that your body, that you are going to release whatever your body wants to let go of in this moment, whether that's worry, whether that's stress, whether that's anxiety, whether that's pain, whether that's a fear, just be open to allowing these sounds to go exactly where they need to go for you today, without judgment. I'm just asking that we are all lovingly surrounded in the most beautiful divine light, that your angels, your guides, that God's source, whatever resonates with you, or maybe it's just a light, maybe you just feel a light around you, is surrounding you now. And it is here for you. This is your time, this is your moment, this is a gift for you. If your mind is whirring, that's also okay. Just let it do what it needs to do. You don't need to try and stop it. Just acknowledge it. That's it, you're doing really well. I want your body just to let your body release, let your body let go. Some of you have got work into some sadness releasing out of some of your chests. I can feel it. Just keep breathing. Let that go. Release, 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 release. Let your shoulders drop. Let any emotion, any pain, any sadness, any sorrow, any fear, any doubt, any worry, just know that right now it is being released from your body. We're letting it go. We're letting the energy go. We're uncoiling, we're unraveling, and we're letting the energy go. You're doing really well. And as you've let that go, we've created space now
for some beautiful, cleansing, positive energy to come in and to fill you up with what it is that your body actually wants and needs. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's love, maybe it's joy, maybe it's abundance, maybe it's calmness, maybe it's a sense of strength and courage. So whatever your body needs now, right now, we're going to fill that up with these beautiful sounds, with this beautiful energy that is surrounding you. You might even want to visualize a light or see a light coming in now for you, this beautiful healing light surrounding your head, filling up the whole of your body. You might even be making you tingle. It's bringing you exactly what you need in this moment. Just trust it. Just know that this is what you need. Just know you're being surrounded in light, in beautiful energy. Notice the expansion. You may be feeling this expansion within you, this sense of freedom, this sense of, okay, I've let that go now. Now I've got room to allow in those things that I've been asking for. Maybe it is more opportunities. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's more money. Maybe it's more peace. Maybe it's more joy. Just allow that into your life right now. Just know that you have space for that to come into your world. And receive this beautiful gift that is being sent to you right now. Receive it into your world, receive it into your life, and say, yes, I receive this. I am worthy. I am ready. I am beautiful. I have purpose. I am powerful. Just know that you are loved. And you are always, always, always divinely looked over and divinely protected. Just know that. Just spend one last moment breathing in this beautiful light. Receiving all this goodness. And whenever you are ready, just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, just come back into your body. You might want to just stroke your arms down, pat down your legs, feel your feet on the ground. Just thanking the beautiful energies, the angels, the guides that came through today for you. And just open your eyes as and when you are ready.
Wow. An incredible experience. I'd like to share my experience because I just think that.
Thank you.
So I'll openly admit what I set the intention to do. So I set the intention to release any feelings of heartbreak that I might be holding on to, which is something I've experienced more in recent years rather than old stuff. And I think I focused more on very old energy to understand my pattern to get to the point that I'd got to. And as you started singing, it was as though the sound was moving around my body. And so interesting was I first felt it really in my head and the back of my head in particular. And it was so it was reconfiguring my thoughts and it was sort of moving around. Then it moved to the front of my stomach, the front of my chest, the back of my chest. I could feel like popping and clicking going on. And then it was sort of swirling around up and down my legs. And it was like I was following the music, and it very exactly what you said. it's about how the vibration was moving through my body and where there was bits that needed to hear the sound more deeply and need movement using that frequency. Yeah, it's amazing. Then I felt a little bit of pain in my back, which was just, it was just highlighting where I was holding on, and it was physically hurting. We have aches and pains, we don't even notice, we just carry on until we stop.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that shoulder was hurting, you know?
Yes.
So, that was incredible. And then when I could really feel the light coming in, I could really feel an expansion, space, and then just that drawing in, and a feeling of trust. It's okay to trust. I can let it go now. So I feel incredible, and I really hope that anyone that's watching this on the replay, anyone who's done that live, got something just as incredible, because
Yes.
that is absolutely amazing and so unique, such a unique way of working. And wow, what a powerful voice.
Thank you. I hope you could hear it. Okay. I do want to say also, like, you and I, Meena, we experience quite a lot because we are quite open energetically. So we feel and we see, and when we're having healing, when we're giving healing. But if you're not always feeling as much as we feel, that's also okay. Your body will receive it how it's meant to receive it as well. So don't be questioning, oh, I didn't feel as much, or maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but just allow. And you can always come back, and sometimes you need to hear them several times. So you can always come back and listen again.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't mean, yeah, it's still working anyway.
Yes, it is always.
And especially if you really are drawn to it, just go with that feeling. If it's like, wow, I just love the sound of this, that's because the body wants more.
Yes.
So there'll always be an indication, something. But yeah, definitely everybody experiences it very different. I have clients that are really hypersensitive in the body and physically, and others that feel absolutely nothing, but they just tell me they feel great after, and that's all that matters.
Exactly.
So different for everyone. So that was incredible. Let's move on to some very exciting work that we're doing together, and something that we want to share. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, thank you for asking. So Meena and I, Kate, we've known each other for over a year now, and like we said, we've energetically worked with each other quite a lot. And it was probably about a month ago, we recognized, we were having a conversation, it all sort of started clicking into place. We recognized that I knew at some point Meena and I were going to collaborate. I just didn't know when it was going to be. And we recognized that we were being called, that 2023, this year, feels like a real year of, there's a shift in energy, there's a shift in vibration, and there's a lot of people are being called to really own their own power, step more deeply into their power, open their intuition more deeply, much more deeply into their gifts, and really come up and serve the world in a much bigger way. And January, February time, I really felt was a time of inner reflection, clearing, cluttering, decluttering, clearing the energy. And March time really feels like a time for people to then, what we felt was there's this light that we need to bring into the world for people who are ready to fully own their power and step into it. And we've really felt this shift sort of happening roundabout now. And so we're collaborating on a program called Your Light Power, which is for those people who hear this calling, who know they are here to serve. Maybe you're a leader, maybe you're a coach, maybe you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're a healer yourself, you're a light worker, you're here to serve the world in some way. And you just have this inner knowing that, yes, there's more power within me to come out. And maybe there's a few layers that you've still not worked through, that you need to work through to access this light power. So Meena and I are bringing together a sort of 3-month program. Well, it's going to last for about 4 months, where we're going to really help clear away any clutter, any energy that is stopping you from accessing this power. And then really, which is even more beautiful, help you activate and align with it. So really deeply activate and help you connect with your own intuition, your own power, your own gifts, because we're all here. We all have a purpose as to why we're here, and sometimes we just need help accessing that. And that's what I feel you and I have been brought together to do.
Yeah, it's really exciting, because it's intensive, short, well, they're 90-minute sessions, just once a month for 3 months, and then we're doing a bonus session, which is a Q&A, a bit more detail about us. It's really the final session is really about what happens next, a nurturing session. What do I do with this? Because lots of you will get so much insight from this. And it really is for those people that find themselves being the one that people turn to. Are
Yes.
you that person that finds yourself giving that bit extra in the work that you do? Yes, you're the leader, you've got a business, you tend to be the change maker, the one that's making decisions, but also you're the one that's nurturing other people.
Yeah.
So this is very much about getting yourself even stronger, really aligning with the frequency and the energy that's coming through this year, clearing out, decluttering, and we've all still got work to do. I mean, I still have things to release. Rachel still has work to do. And because there's new energy coming through, we can do even more, we can get even stronger. Now, this light is already in all of us. We all have access to it. And some of us have already got a good amount of access to it. But by going even further and being facilitated and having our help and support will lift you even further, help you clean out even more. You'll find it gets even stronger, and the frequencies that are coming through this year are just off the scale.
They are.
You can
They are.
probably, I know you're going to be feeling it from the energy of just this conversation that's going on, even before Rachel started to speak. And the reason you can feel it is because we're working with it and it's coming through. Now, when you start working with this energy, you've already got access to it anyway. You're going to have more connection to it, so that what you'll find is you'll have your inspirational change. You'll be more inspired. You'll have new ideas, and you'll have a deeper connection with those gifts and talents already within you. Everybody's talents are different. You know, some of us, Rachel does her healing through using her voice and her vocal healing. My healing's very different. And it doesn't mean you're going to become a healer. It just means that every single person that you touch beyond yourself is going to also benefit your, your team members, your clients, because it's really creating a ripple effect with this work.
Yes, a ripple effect in the world. And I think that's why we're so sort of impassioned to do it, because we know it's almost like we had to say yes to doing this. It wasn't about you and me. This was about the world. This was about what people need. This was about shifting the vibration and helping raise the vibrations of the planet. And I think I just know that there is some people listening to this who are like, yes, I'm excited. I know I've got more to give, and I'd love to be able to access that on a deeper level. And that's what you and I can bring.
Yeah, so it's 3 90-minute sessions with the bonus session, so you get 4 sessions. They're recorded, so don't worry about if you can't make them live. And we are, we would expect you to also listen to them again and again a few times throughout the month, so you can carry on making that connection, really bringing through the energy, keep having releases, keep having shifts. And we're really excited. So if this speaks to you, if there's something that we've said that you feel like, I feel like you were talking to me, that's exactly what I want. Or even if you just want a bit more information, Rachel's going to add all of the links and the details. And something that's really exciting is if it calls to you and you want to go for it, book as soon as possible, because if you book by Monday next week, there is a chance to win a one-to-one session with either myself or Rachel. So all of the that'll just go into a draw, and there's 2 of you are going to win a one-on-one session with me. I certainly would love a session with Rachel.
That will be so powerful in life. Those one sessions miracles can happen in those sessions.
Life changing. So even just to get onto one of those, but seriously. Right, it's been absolutely incredible. I've really thoroughly enjoyed my first time hosting ever anything.
Amazing. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you for putting me, making me push my comfort zones too, Rachel. It's been an absolute honour to be able to do this, and thank you so much.
And thank you for allowing.
Enjoyed listening in.
And thank you for allowing me to share my story and my voice as well. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.